Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Mikel Arteta shares bad news for Arsenal fans after win over Luton Town. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta confirmed after the win over Luton Town last night that Takehiro Tomiyasu will be out for a while due to injury. The Gunners secured a dramatic win last night. They left it until virtually the last kick of the game for Declan Rice to head home the winner, and Arsenal's celebrations after the final whistle were fantastic to see. However, the euphoria dropped a little after Arteta revealed the bad news about Tomiyasu. Takehiro Tomiyasu has been one of Arsenal's best players in recent weeks. The Japan international got an opportunity when Ben White suffered an injury. He was so good in that period that the England defender had to settle for a spot on the bench even after he recovered. Sadly for Tomiyasu, he went down holding his calf in the win over Wolves last weekend. Everyone hoped he was only withdrawn as a precaution, but there is some bad news now. Mikel Arteta confirmed that Tomiyasu underwent scans on his calf and the results reveal that he has suffered damage. He will be out of action for a while as a result. The Spaniard said after the game last night, as per Arsenal.com, the following: "We had a scan, and it's not good news. He's got an injury in his calf, and he is going to be out for a while." Takehiro Tomiyasu was having his best spell in an Arsenal shirt over the last few weeks. The Japan international has performed brilliantly for the Gunners in both fullback positions, and he offers them cover in the heart of the defense as well. Tomiyasu will be a big miss for Arsenal, especially if he cannot be back in time for the game against Liverpool a couple of days before Christmas. He is the best equipped at the club to deal with Mohamed Salah, but if he is not available, Arteta will have to put his faith in Zinchenko to contain the Egyptian. Ben White raves about 22-year-old Arsenal player after beating Luton last night. Arsenal defender Ben White has praised his teammate Bukayo Saka after the win over Luton Town last night. The Gunners were the dominant side for a large part of the game, but two poor mistakes from David Raya made the game a lot closer than it should have been. Both White and Saka played a big part in the win. Ben White and Bukayo Saka have always had a great understanding on Arsenal's right flank, but their partnership hasn't been at its best this season. Arsenal's attack in itself hasn't been fluid for large parts of this campaign, but things have been a lot better over the last three games. Saka picked up an assist for Gabriel Martinelli's opener before White got one for himself when he laid it on a plate for Gabriel Jesus to head home Arsenal's second goal. The England defender combined with Saka before assisting Jesus, and he has now claimed that the 22-year-old's quality makes his life a lot easier. He told Arsenal.com after the game the following: "We are always playing with each other in training, and Bukayo is so good, so that makes it quite easy for me." Ben White has been the first choice right back at Arsenal since the start of last season, but following a small injury last month, he lost his place in the side. Takehiro Tomiyasu came in and was brilliant for the Gunners. He barely put a foot wrong at right back and even kept White on the bench for a few games. Sadly now, Tomiyasu will miss a few fixtures. Mikel Arteta confirmed last night that he has suffered a calf injury and will be out for a while as a result. That means White will become a guaranteed starter again, and Arsenal fans can enjoy watching him flourish with Saka in the coming weeks. BBC Pundit says £30 million Arsenal player is so unconvincing despite Luton win. Matthew Upson was extremely critical of David Raya after Luton Town made the score 2-2 in their remarkable clash with Arsenal on Tuesday, labelling the goalkeeper really poor. Upson was speaking on BBC Radio 5 Live after the Spaniard got nowhere near a corner as the Hatters equalised for a second time in the evening. David Raya is going to have to expect his position to come under serious scrutiny. Of course, many were already baffled by Mikel Arteta's treatment of Aaron Ramsdale this season. Certainly, Ramsdale has to be in with a serious chance of coming back into the side for Arsenal's next game. Raya has hardly been that impressive since being promoted to the number one position, and he had his toughest game yet on Tuesday. Raya flapped at a Luton corner, which led to the second goal, and Matthew Upson pointed the finger of blame straight at the summer signing. He said, "It's a really good delivery into the box, left-footed and a swinger from Doughty, and he just drops it on the 6-yard line. David Raya comes out and is so unconvincing, it's really poor from the Arsenal goalkeeper." Of course, the evening would get even worse for Raya. Luton's third goal proved to be another mistake from the Brentford loanee. He let Ross Barkley's shot go under him way too easily. With that, you really get the feeling that the coming days could provide a real clue as to whether Aaron Ramsdale does still have a future at Arsenal. Newcastle are reportedly interested in Ramsdale with the January window just around the corner. If Arteta is going to make a change between his two goalkeepers, it will surely come now. Raya was so poor against Luton. Ultimately, he came so close to costing his team 2 points, and when you consider that Raya has hardly been the most impressive performer since his move, which could cost £30 million, it's clear that many Arsenal fans would now make a change. Alan Sherer raves about 22-year-old Arsenal player after what he did last night. Alan Sherer raved about Arsenal star Bukayo Saka after his first half assist against Luton Town last night. Speaking on Amazon Prime, the Newcastle legend singled out the winger for praise after his role in Arsenal's opener on Tuesday evening. Arsenal endured a difficult start as Luton enjoyed a bright opening 20 minutes. Indeed, Rob Edwards man-pressed Mikel Arteta's side relentlessly, but a moment of brilliance handed the Gunners an early lead. Gabriel Jesus took a quick throw-in after a mix-up at the back for Luton and picked out Bukayo Saka. Saka made a brilliant run in behind Alfie Doughty before setting up Gabriel Martinelli, and it's fair to say that Alan Shearer was impressed with Saka's movement for the goal. Speaking on Amazon Prime Video at halftime, Shearer praised Saka after yet another goal involvement for the Hale End Academy product. He said, "That is a brilliant run of Saka though. It's such a clever, intelligent run. One run from the defender to take them in, and then if the defender is daft enough to go with you, that means that he is leaving the space open. It's a brilliant run, such a clever run, and then he finds the space and has the intelligence to pull it back. Then Martinelli just gets there before the defender." Saka continues to impress for Arsenal and is proving to be their most productive player in the final third, but Arsenal's lead last night was short-lived as Gabriel Osho leveled things up just 5 minutes later. The Gunners responded just before half-time with well-worked move finished off by Gabriel Jesus, yet Luton produced an exceptional spell at the beginning of the second half to take a surprise 3-2 lead. Arsenal managed to get themselves back into the game just minutes after though, as Kai Havertz leveled things up once more with a simple finish following some brilliant hold-up play from Jesus. Arteta's man eventually found a last-minute winner through Declan Rice as the midfielder popped up with a crucial header. It certainly wasn't a vintage Arsenal performance, but they found a way to grind out a win once again. Kevin Campbell names the one Arsenal player who has made Kai Havertz better. Kevin Campbell has claimed that Arsenal star Gabriel Jesus has made everyone better around him, including summer signing Kai Havertz. The Gunners have a fantastic squad right now. They are deservedly on top of the Premier League table, and numerous players have impressed so far this season. Jesus is one of them. Arsenal signed Kai Havertz from Chelsea in the summer, and the German had a very difficult start to life in North London. The 24-year-old struggled to get going, looked out of place in Arsenal's midfield, and missed a few big chances in front of goal as well. Havertz came under a lot of criticism, but over the last few weeks, the German has looked so much better. He scored in back to back games as well, the winner against Brentford and the opener in the 6-0 win over Lens in the Champions League, and he scored last night against Luton. Kevin Campbell believes Gabriel Jesus is the reason why Havertz, as well as Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Martinelli have been performing well recently. He said on the Hyper Squad, Jesus, he is back, he is playing, he was out earlier in the season. When Jesus plays well, you tend to find Saka and Martinelli play well, Odegaard starts playing well, Havertz is starting to score goals and look a lot better. That's really because we have got a glue guy at the top end of the pitch, someone who could get hold of the ball and really cause some problems and bring others into the game. I think Jesus is so important to what we do. Since the start of the season, about a dozen pundits have urged Mikel Arteta to sign a new striker for Arsenal in the January transfer window. A prolific centre forward may definitely help, but Jesus offers so much for the Gunners when he starts up front, and as Campbell has said, he makes everyone around him better. Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and Martin Odegaard all had their best seasons ever while playing with Jesus last term, and Havertz has joined the mix this campaign. Even though Jesus doesn't guarantee 25 goals a season for Arsenal, he is one of their best players and he deserves a lot of praise for what he does for Arteta's side. Arsenal ready to pay £60 million to sign unbelievable player in January, but club want £110 million. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are willing to pay up to £60 million for Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz. That's according to Football Transfers, which has noted how much Villa want for the former Manchester City prospect. According to Football Transfers, Arsenal want to sign Douglas Luiz from Premier League rivals Aston Villa in the January transfer window. The Gunners are willing to pay as much as £60 million for Luiz. However, that would not be enough. The report has claimed that Villa are demanding as much as £110 million in transfer fees for the Brazil international, who was described as unbelievable by ex-Villa manager Dean Smith in the Birmingham Mail in June 2020. Football Transfers, though, has reported that the villains could accept a fee of around £80 million if the player were to push for a move. In my view, Arsenal should not pay £110 million for Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz in the January transfer window. That is too much to pay for the 25-year-old. Arsenal paid £100 million for Declan Rice just a few months ago. The Gunners simply cannot spend another £100 million on a defensive midfielder, especially in January. While Luiz is a very good player and would make Arsenal better in the middle of the park, the Gunners are not in desperate need of another defensive midfielder. The North London club would be better off spending that £110 million on a striker, for example. Of course, we know that there is speculation on the future of Thomas Partey, but that does not mean that Arsenal should pay whatever Villa want them to for Luiz. Arsenal now watching top quality £35 million player who is currently top of the league. Away from the usual players Arsenal are linked with, Mikel Arteta's side have now started scouting an exciting defender in Germany. According to 90 Minute, both Arsenal and Liverpool had scouts watching a 1-1 draw between Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund on Sunday, and those scouts were in a place to watch Jeremy Frimpong, A fullback who has mirrored Leverkusen's sharp trajectory under Xabi Alonso, signed from Celtic, the 22-year-old is now receiving a ton of attention across Europe, a defender with an exciting attacking profile. Moreover, Frimpong does have a £35 million release clause in his contract, which expires this summer, and the defender is said to have made his intentions in the summer very clear. It could be a key opportunity for Arsenal, a profile that doesn't already exist in their squad. Although the club has both imperious fullbacks and ones that can invert, they lack a defender who loves to overlap. And given the extensive array of defenses Arsenal now face, Frimpong could be an important part of future plans. As is the case with most of Arsenal's interest right now, a deal would probably be more likely in the summer, and particularly at fullback, Cedric Soares' probable departure will free up funds and a spot in the squad. Although rarely used, Cedric is still being paid £75,000 a week, money that can be better spent. Mikel Arteta will be wary of his squad becoming too bloated in the future, and any deal will likely depend on a departure. But it seems clear that Frimpong would be worth the effort, a player who is thriving at Granit Xhaka's new side. Perhaps Arteta, who had a good relationship with Xhaka at Arsenal, could even ask his former player for commendation. The future of this squad should be really exciting for Arsenal fans. Business in the summer was conducted so efficiently, and the club are now reaping the rewards. So, whilst there may be some frustration during a quiet January, fans should remember to trust the process. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.